Hi soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're doing Will Your Situation Resolve, and also advice from Spirit. So as usual, we are going to be picking 3 piles together. And so for pile number 1, we have friendship. For pile number 2, we have decision. And for pile number 3, we have detachment. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, then perhaps you want to check it out. And even if you feel drawn to all of the piles, then you may want to as well check them all out at the end of the day. Trust your intuition. It will always guide you to the right readings. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Okay, soul family, I left the shuffling and the card picking as separately for those who enjoy this process like me. So let's pick our cards together for the 3 piles. I'm planning to use these oracle decks for this reading, and I'm planning to use these 2 tarot cards as well for this specific reading. Now, which side up is that? Yeah, right. Now, if you're interested in any of the decks that I ever use, I always leave the name of the decks that I've used in a certain video down in the description box. All right, so now let's shuffle with intention and let's ask, will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit? Will your situation revolve? Well, you've seen it. I gotta take it. Will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit? Okay, so pile number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's take the second oracle deck. Will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit? Thank you very much. Are these 3? Oh, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Great. Right, so now we have our tarot cards. We'll be picking 5 from each of the 2 decks that we'll be using. So again, let's shuffle with intention. Will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit, please? Will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit? Let's see. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. Now we're taking a look at our last deck. Will your situation resolve? I'm sure, confident we're going to get the right cards. Will your situation resolve? Will your situation resolve? And what advice do you have from Spirit? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. Now it's time for us to put them neatly together. Okay, how about we take this one, yeah, at the top. That looks much better. Right, so that is our pile number 1. Ooh. Okay. Let's prepare pile number 2. Great, this one is ready as well. So that is our pile number 2 with decision. Lovely. Now it's time for us to prepare pile number 3. All right. And pile number 3 is also ready. And we have detachment for pile number 3. Okay, guys, we are now ready. And now you are ready to pick the pile that you wanted for this reading. And let's begin. Hi, pile number 1. So you've chosen friendship. Let's take a look at how Spirit sees your situation and will it resolve. So apart from your main card, which is friendship, let's take a look at your oracle cards first. So you have the warrior. Wow, how interesting. How interesting, pile number 1. Let's take a look at the rest of the piles. And how interesting as well that you have the warrior and then in conjunction with friendship. Now I think we need to take our decks out of the way so we have space for our cards. Interesting. Okay, now I see what's going on. I see. It's like this friend or foe situation. Let's see. Of course, we'll get to understand more as we unravel your cards. So you have broomstick with cleansing, right? Okay. Now we're ready for your tarot cards. Pile number 1. Yep. Now you can see with me. So you have the Seed of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. You have the Fool. The Two of Cups. The Devil. And the Two of Stones. What a beautiful Two of Stones. All right. Now let's take a look at your clarification cards. You have the Knight of Swords with fighting. The Page of Cups with understanding. Beyond illusion, that's judgment. And, the King of, a lot of court cards here. The King of Pentacles with abundance. A lot of court cards. And this may signify maybe for some of you, a lot of people involved. That could be one way to look at it. And last but not least, you have the 10 of Swords with rebirth. And I'm very happy this is ending your reading. So pile number 1. What I straight away can see here, that there is confusion between the type of people that you have surrounding you, or confusion between confusion about a certain person in your life. And so perhaps this person or these people are family, but they are not really playing it fair or right. Or it could be a specific person who's supposed to be a friend, who's supposed to be a lover maybe. And maybe you're even your counterpart. But at the same time, maybe there isn't a lot of honesty, or there's a lot of arguments and challenging discussions between you. And it's putting you in opposition to each other rather than in collaboration. Pile number 1. Now, what I'm seeing here in your reading is a suggestion of a new beginning with the Seed of Cups and the Fool. This is not an invitation to let go of this person at all. Far from that. It's rather an invitation to look at your challenges by rising above it, by rising above the small picture to take a look at the big picture. With the broomstick here, the broomstick is all about cleaning up psychic debris. And so perhaps there are a lot of things in the past that happened. There's a lot of build up that's now causing small things to be bigger things. And so there needs to be a renewal of this situation where you start a new beginning with each other not by only deciding that you're going to have a new beginning, but by finally opening up that closet and speaking to each other kindly, trying to clear out the things that caused the build-up over this time. And to speak with each other honestly, but with kindness, with love, with understanding. Not one side doing that and the other side avoiding it, but rather both sides deciding to start a new beginning, to free up this emotional build-up that's causing the tension between the two of you or all of you, and to show each other that you have the intention, that you all have the intention to speak to each other with love, with kindness, that to insist on showing each other that both of you are looking at this from both perspectives and not just one perspective, where one person is feeling empathetic and the other person is taking that advantage, or to listen to respond and so on and so forth, but rather both of you cooperating to rise from the situation, or all parties involved doing that, collaborating together to make sure that each and every member in this party is satisfied, is healing, is getting what they want, and this way you transform your situation completely. Pile number 1. Because on the inside, at heart, I really do see that all parties involved do hold each other in high regards. You mean a lot to each other. Pile number 1. There's a lot of love in this situation. A lot of care and stability is needed. And so sometimes when there's lack of stability, misunderstanding, not speaking truthfully about what could be wrong, not realizing what is up with someone else, this all can cause a build-up where in the beginning we tend to let go of the silly things just because someone means a lot to us, and by time when this builds up, it affects us and it starts seeing people in a different way, because now we're not okay. it starts affecting the way we respond, and then that affects them in turn, and then it starts becoming a challenge and a war rather than erasing the friendship that used to be. You don't want that at the moment, pile number one, especially that there's nothing really integrally wrong with the parties involved, as I can see. Just difference in point of views, a lack of understanding, where both parties or all parties need to see each other's perspectives, not just their own. Pile number one. What I'm seeing here as well is the more this psychic debris builds up, the more it's going to show negative energy in this connection, prompting some parties to do things that they would otherwise not have done. Because now there's a mistruth understanding of the situation, causing others to respond in a different way than the way they would usually respond. And so you want to avoid this being dragged down this devil hole or this rabbit hole. And the more you leave things unsaid, the more you decide not to summon up the courage and start talking about it, the more it's going to build up, the more you're dragging the situation down that rabbit hole, causing an end to something, or increasing the challenge, putting fuel to the fire when you can otherwise avoid it. Again, you do see here the sun and the moon from different decks. And so you need to integrate in this connection, not just to depend on the emotions and how valuable you are to each other, but to integrate that with real action, with properly listening to each other, with not being too stuck on your opinion, both sides, and to together work on how to solve it, not just throwing the ball into the other person's cart and see what they have to do now, putting blame, or to lack empathy towards each other, or to only see it from one point of view, but to actively work together to find a solution that will fit both of you and not fit perfectly one of you and not the other, and expect the other to compromise, unless this really is something that you can both see that needs to be done, not just one side. Pile number one. And as you can see, more masculine energy, more practical energy needs to be involved in this situation in order for all of you to rise above it. And so, like we were saying, as you can see here visually in the cards, to softly, do you remember how this card, we noticed from the very beginning how beautiful and serene it is to calmly juggle both sides, to make sure that both sides are balanced. This way you create the rebirth in this connection that you want, with a lot of effort from both sides and a lot of patience, until the years of build-up, or the long, or all the days or months of build-up is cleared, until both of you can see the effort each one is doing, taking out the psychic degree, and once more enjoying this beautiful connection that you have. And all that is left is not just the new beginning, but reconnecting again, because it was setting sort of like a prison-like between, or a wall between the both of you, locking you away from each other. And taking that away, all that is now, will now be left, is that cute Page of Cups energy. Loving, sweet energy that is innocent, that is honest, that hides no intentions or no passive aggressiveness or no other meanings behind it. just pure enjoyment, pure fun, pure friendships. Because if you're getting the Seed of Cups here and this friendship card with the moon in Cancer, it's like it shows that all sides here in this situation don't necessarily have bad intentions towards each other, are not necessarily bad people at all. And that you can always go back. Always. It's a misconception to think that you can't. You can always go back to that beautiful energy that you always had by clearing out this debris, by making sure that you both balance each other. As if both of you are one entity, making sure that both sides are balanced. Pile number 1. So pile number 1, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. So you've chosen decision. Now let's take a look at your cards and see whether your situation will resolve, what Spirit has to say about it, and advice, of course, from Spirit. So first of all, you have Orphan here. That's the archetype that we got for this reading. And along with that, your main card is, of course, Decision. It's Mars in Gemini. Interesting. Okay. You also have Owl with Wisdom Keeper. Now the number 40 is really popping up. I wonder what this is. Perhaps this is need for stability, also need for change. Maybe the number 40 is significant to you because it's popping up in my face. All right, we'll find out more as we take a look at your cards. So yeah, now you can see it. Pile number 2. Okay, so you have the Root of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. The Hierophant. Death. The Ten of Cups. And you have the Harvest of Cups, which is the King of Cups. I can already tell you through the cards that I'm seeing here, before we even take a look at your situation, will your situation resolve? Yes, it really will. But let's find out more about what Spirit has to say, what your situation is, and how you can go about it as well. So these are your clarification cards. You have the Six of Cups with the Dream. Oh, you have Nothingness, which is a very special card, by the way. Pile number 2. I always love getting this card in a reading. It just has a lot, and where it's surrounding as well is really nice. Now, not only is this card shocking, but did you notice that you have the Hierophant right in conjunction to each other? That's pretty significant. There is something, a great lesson for you here to learn that will transform everything in your situation, pile number 2. And perhaps this is why you have the Chess with Decision and Wisdom Keeper with the Owl. Very, very cool. You have the King of Swords with Control. You have the Emperor with the Rebel. Strong cards in this reading. I think we need to just give room for the other cards as well. Right, now we can see them better. Okay, so your last card is the Queen of Pentacles with Flowering. I'm glad this is ending your reading with the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Wonderful energy here. Love how your situation will result, and it's going to result with great strength as well. Now, let's take a closer look at your situation here, because having the orphan archetype is a big deal. That's a big energy here. I can't help but feel, pile number 2, with your situation, that somehow you were left alone. Oh, that hurts my heart, pile number 2. So there are different scenarios, since this is a general reading and many people are watching. For some of you, you have been stung with the pain of a loved one leaving to the other side. This could be parents, siblings, someone dear who left to the other side. And now only the dream of them is left. For some of you, you could have been abandoned by nearly everyone, all the dear people in your life. And that stings my heart for you, pile number 2. It stings my heart for you. If this is your case, I am so sorry. And I am there for you. I'm at least sending you a hug from the screen. Pile number 2. So sorry for that. Now, for some others, this could be general feelings of aloneness. Even if you have people around you, you may not feel like they necessarily understand you. And in all cases, at the end of the day, you feel left alone. You're left here now wondering, are you going to feel alone forever? And maybe a lot of you as well, with this specific 6 of Cups, you're dreaming of a relationship to come. Especially that the reading is ending with the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. And that says a lot about what you need to do now, perhaps if you want, and what this person is going to be like as well. So you being left alone like that, pile number 2, is really part of your spiritual growth. You do have the Hierophant coming up twice, and that was surprising to see. It is a tough lesson. It is a tough situation. But it is necessary for a very important area or part of you to grow and to strengthen with the King of Swords here. Now, the King of Swords usually signifies that there is a certain area that we're not seeing. So seeing the owl and the King of Swords, I can already tell, pile number 2, that you are a very smart person. And make no question about that. And despite your great intelligence and wisdom, inherent wisdom, you cannot figure out exactly why it's going so dark on you. Why is it going black? Why does it have to be so tough? But the King of Swords shows us that there's always an emotional part that they are overlooking. The King of Swords, as balanced as they are, signifies that there's a certain emotional situation or a certain emotional understanding that they tend to overlook in their path of being practical. And so really here, there's a blind spot, an area that you keep overlooking. You educate yourself. So I'm seeing here, you have changed a lot of things in yourself. You've educated yourself a lot. You've done a lot of shadow work, my friend. A lot of shadow work, and you're like, why isn't my situation changing? What is going on? Why aren't I having dear people, my 10 of Cups, surrounding me? when I'm a good person that deserves it. And so this is why you have the chess. There's a little bit of mind game here where you may need to, because the detachment, I know it's for the third pile, but it was right in front of me. There needs to be emotional detachment, and to think about what is it exactly that your inner child with the orphan here is calling for. There's a certain unmet need that needs to heal here, pile number 2. Do you see here? The key is within you. The key is right within you. You're looking on the outside, but really the key is within you. And this really means that there's this understanding of learning to be happy on one's own first, in their own home, before going into another home. Because with the Hierophant here, I'm seeing that this is something that you keep avoiding. There's an emphasis on this lesson. An emphasis of finding a home in yourself first before moving into another home. That's the integral learning that I'm really seeing in your reading about your situation. And in fact, this is a wonderful card showing that the second you heed the call, the second you let it sink in, the second you decide to feel emotionally happy by yourself, to train yourself to do that, by avoiding the pains of thinking of the past, avoiding the pains of thinking of the what if, the what could if, who will listen to me if I'm not alone, what I'm missing out on being on my own. All this burns. And so to replace these thoughts, because they come, again here, it's very clear, they come from an inner child who wants it dearly. To learn to see other ways of existing, to learn to see other ways of being emotionally happy on one own. And that's, by the way, one of the biggest life lessons that a lot of us go through. One of the main and the biggest life lessons that a lot of people go through. To learn to first be happy on one's own. And that requires a lot of emperor energy here. To break the chains from waiting for someone and to replace thoughts of, I wish I can have this, or I wish someone would be doing this, and so on, into thoughts of empowerment. Right, so this is the situation. We have to accept it at the moment and enjoy the best that we have from it. What can I do to make my day wonderful today? What can I do to bring my thoughts out? Would I love to journal? Would I love to speak to other people, perhaps starting connecting with other people around the world through maybe the internet? Or should I go out and explore? Or should I work on a passionate project? And so on. Learning to take out the negative thoughts that burn, and to find inner peace, inner balance, inner harmony, inner love by being on one's own first. And that's here what you're overlooking, what you're not liking sometimes. That's the one thing you're overlooking. The idea of trying it out on your own without these emotional needs, that these natural, of course, emotional needs. They should be wants here and not needs. To balance oneself out and to see what to do now. You know, there's, to give you an example with that, let's say, for example, someone knows that if they had a car and if they didn't have to walk to work 20 minutes, they would feel much better. And they suffer every single day walking these 20 minutes with thoughts of, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm so sick of this. You know how it would have felt like to have a car. I would have relaxed. I would have done this. I would have arrived with this. I would have... And to burden yourself with a situation that is the way it is now, it's just going to make it emotionally burdening for yourself. And so, since this is the situation at the moment, the right thing to do would be to have a pleasant walk. Since this is the situation, have the walk, but find different ways to make it pleasurable. Maybe listening to a podcast that helps you in this situation, how to manifest a car, how to work towards it, or listen to music you absolutely love, and then this walk turns out to be one of the blessings of the whole day, one that you look forward to every day. To solve the issues and the challenges around you walking, maybe you want to change your pair of shoes, one for walking and one for the office. Maybe you want to take some refreshments with you in the office, and so on. Maybe you want to save up for a bike. The choices are endless. But one thing is for sure with the Knight of Wands here, specifically depicted in this deck, that to put fuel in the fire every day and to think how the situation is tough and to relive it and to hate it and to relive the emotional burden that you hate from it will make the situation even worse. And your advice from Spirit, the learning lesson here, is to learn to build grit and to not give your inner child the emotional dependency that it needs. I gave this example before. It's like if they crave chocolate a lot, then by cutting it out, by time they will not crave chocolate anymore. You will sure like to eat delicious food. That's never going to go away. But then you learn how to make delicious food through preparing nice meals, nice healthy meals. And that's the same thing here. To first cut off and be disciplined about not thinking of the things that burn. Build that grit, have fun, make sure that this challenging situation is the most fun you can ever have in your life. And that is power. That is the rebel energy. That is the emperor energy. To change your situation, that's probably why the 4 popped up. That is taking control of your situation, being powerful on your own first, to enjoy it to the max. And from that, you have the no-thingness, which is, by the way, a trend. I always say it. I love it. If you've been around this channel, you've probably heard it a lot. And I'm sure you enjoy hearing it as I enjoy receiving it in the readings. The nothingness is a Sanskrit translation of the word shunyata. And this is a concept that shows that from nothing comes everything. And this is how the universe was created. From nothing, a big bang is created. And everything is created from that. And so this is a pause period for you to rediscover yourself, to fill in this orphan energy or this orphan archetype energy first before you're able to move to your new home and your new life, pile number 2, which is definitely going to happen. That's the first thing I saw in your reading from the very first time we've taken a look at it. And what you have from that, you have the 10 of Cups, you have the King of Cups, and you have the Queen of Cups. And that's why I told you this was significant from the very beginning. Here you have a counterpart or new people who are going to be very loving, but also emotionally balanced. Now you're able to deal with emotionally balanced people because your emotional need or your emotional dependency will not interfere in spoiling the connection here. And at the same time, whether you're a man or you're a woman, by the way, in your case with the Queen of Pentacles, because it's going along with your reading, you become whole and independent, all in and of yourself first. And that way you create healthy connections and healthy relationships. Pile number 2. So pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. So you have chosen Detachment. So now let's take a look at your card and see, will your situation resolve? Are there any advice from Spirit with regards to your situation? You have, interesting, you have the Mountain archetype. Along with the Detachment, that is Venus in Aquarius. Okay. Let's see the rest of your cards. You have, you have Candle with illumination. That makes me feel so good, so warm on the inside, especially with the Mountain here. It's another thing that I've noticed straight away in your reading, pile number 3. Okay. Oh, also the Peacock also popped up in my face. So it might either be a unique situation or your solution is going to be, yes, your solution is going to be very unique. And you are a very unique person. Yes. You are a very unique person, pile number 3. In fact, Venus in Aquarius, that is unique energy. So this really shows straight away, before we take a look at your situation, that you surely are a very unique person. Pile number 3. Perhaps your situation as well is quite unique as you. Right. Let's take a look at your tarot cards now. Do you see that? Yes, now you can. Right. So, pile number 3, you have Temperance, the Hermit, the Flower of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands, the Unseen, which is an extra card in this deck. Very, very special card. Again, uniqueness. Unseen and the Candle. Perhaps a situation is coming into light. You are going to be seen, maybe. With all this uniqueness we keep seeing from the very beginning of your reading. I wonder what this is. Very excited about your reading. Pile number 3. You have the Seed of Thunder, which is the the Knight of Swords. No. Seed is the Page of Swords. I apologize. Okay. So you have the Queen of Wands, the Page of Swords, and you have the Unseen right in the middle. Okay. Let's take a look at your clarification cards. You have the Three of Wands with experiencing. Okay. You have the Two of Wands with possibilities. The Sun with innocence. Temperance with integration. Again, temperance coming up twice. Right, in conjunction with the unseen. And you have the Ace of Cups with going with the flow. Interesting reading. So pile number 3, what I'm seeing here in your reading is that you are on a quite a unique path in your life. You have a quite unique story. Maybe you are on a unique journey. And because you are so unique and that your story is so unique, it's meant to be that way for a reason. With the unseen here, you do not at the moment see what's going to happen or why things happened the way they did. But what you are being asked to do or advised to do is to balance your way around it until you can see your road ahead. Because with the mountain archetype here, you are going to reach the top. You are going to make it to freedom, to success, to being fulfilled and being happy. In fact, the top of the mountain is said in many ancient civilizations to be the place where the gods reside. And so at the moment you are at the heart of this mountain. Not at the top, but you are at the heart of it. Taking the minerals and taking the life lessons that you need along the way. Learning so many things, being shaped well for your journey so that you can write your stories better, so that you can perhaps teach things better, or that you can take these experiences and let it help you illuminate your path whenever you need it. One thing for sure is that your path is unique, pile number 3. And you're being advised to just go with the flow at the moment. Try as much as possible to detach yourself emotionally from the situation. Spend time alone to learn from what's happening. Search other possibilities and to gain experience from what's going on. And not to resist the situation is exactly what's being relayed here from your spirit guides. To go with the flow. Don't resist it, but don't let it all go either. That's the balance that's needed. To learn from it, but not to attach yourself emotionally to it. And to spend time contemplating, gaining conscious on what you can learn from what's going on, how to face it better, what are the possibilities out there. And this will give you this Queen of Wands energy, centering your reading here. It will give you power, it will give you confidence, it will, just like the bird, it will allow you and give you the wings to fly to wherever place you want to go. The sun here will come out, this wisdom, this gained wisdom and this renewed strength will be the new turning page to what you do not see now. And so, as you can see, you're advised now to go through it with peace. Do you see how peaceful this card is? How the sun is shining its face on the water. The dolphins are swimming in peace. And this woman is balancing her life, walking on thin thread. But you almost feel like she's walking on the beach, isn't it? Such calm and serene and tranquil energy. And that's here your advice. To take it slowly, to go with the flow, not to resist it. Understand that you are a unique person going through a unique journey and that it's going to dissipate. And that you are going to use these lessons that you're going through at the moment, your gained consciousness, this experience. It's like you're turning into a sage almost with this unique experiences that you're going through. is going to give you a lot of wisdom. And while you may not see it now, things will balance out in your life for you very soon. The sun will come out, and that is the center of your reading. You may not see it now, but it's coming out. You have the Queen of Wands, so much fire, so much light. You have the Sun card centering your reading. So much light, it almost would hurt your eyes. Your initial card is the candle. And you know, a small candle can light the whole dark room where you can at least see where the door is and go out. Now imagine this amount of light. So you are being guided. You're being led out of this situation, pile number 3. And most importantly, maybe you cannot see it now, but the advice is to go with the flow, and with the Page of Swords, be courageous by exploring. You have the exploration card here in the Hermit with opening up your consciousness. Explore. Look what's out there. What can you do in this situation? What can you learn from it? How can you deal with it better? Taking into consideration how tired you are, taking into consideration the circumstances surrounding you, but also, most importantly, taking into consideration the days to come and how you want it to be, how easy you want to experience these. So putting all this together will give you the balance that you need, and most importantly, to go through this with a detachment, meaning not to burden yourself with worry, with anxiety maybe, with excessively overthinking about it, but to know that it's going to be okay. By detachment here, I'm really feeling pushing away the thoughts that you'd rather not have. Fears, worries, things that scare you. Of course, handle them with the Page of Swords, but at the same time, detach yourself from them. Push them away. They hit you, acknowledge that they did hit you, and then you detach. You push them away. This way, you retrain yourself to have balance. And this way here, you would have learned exactly the lesson you needed to learn. Taking the minerals from the mountain so that you can go at the top of the mountain, confident, like you've achieved the world, on top of the world, strong, confident, courageous, not afraid of anything. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here for you. Pile number 3. It blows my mind the amount of light you have in your reading. Light, the sun, the Queen of Wands with fire. And then you have unseen, despite all of this light. And it's like, you can't see it, but there's so much light in your path. Your path is lit with light that it's turning into a rainbow. All the different frequencies of the light, giving you a unique, beautiful future ahead that is miraculous, is the word I'm looking for. You know how when we see the rainbow in any part of the world, you'll see people stop in their ways, leave everything and go, oh, look, there's a rainbow. And so this is how your path ahead looks like. You may not see it, but that's the sort of experience. Oh, look at my path ahead. I did not think it would be this amazing. That's the sort of energy that I see here in your reading, despite the fact that you can't see it now. Pile number 3. So, you know this quote, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with only one step. And so you have a long journey ahead. It's going to be marvelous. What you need to do now, perhaps, if you choose to, is with the Three of Wands. That's the advice that I see here. Take it little by little. Take one step at a time. And make sure that you're balanced emotionally as you take this step forward. Make sure that the steps you take are well planned, that you're looking ahead into the future and not the past, that you're making sure that the days to come are comfortable but are handled with strength, that you're learning from this phase and applying your learnings in the future. Because sometimes things can close down on us, create this bottleneck, so that we leave something and go into the path we're meant to go to, that is much better for us, that is full of light, and we were stuck into something too hard because we thought that this is the only thing we were going to have, perhaps. So pile number 3, that was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. And if you're interested in my productivity book on how to be a productive person all while enjoying it at the same time, it's a small book with key secrets and advice that will really help you on your journey. Please check it out in the description box, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.